Have you ever wondered what is the absolute most amount of power somebody could make on a bike? Well, you don't have to wonder for long. Max Walscheid, a 32-year-old World Tour pro with Jayco AlUla, weighs over 90 kilograms and is almost 2 meters tall. He can sprint, he can time trial, he can almost climb even, with the insane watts that he does. He just finished just outside of the top 10 at the Elite European Time Trial Championships, averaging 480 watts. 480 watts for over half an hour. The course started with a headwood section which did not suit such a unit like him. As you can see, 490 watts in just 50k an hour. But he was able to hold back over 550 watts for almost 3 minutes at the end, which is power that most people would struggle to produce while fresh, let alone after half an hour at 470. Walscheid doesn't post all of his rides to Strava, but he posted a training session in January of this year, which was particularly impressive. Let me just take you through the ride real quick. After a short spin to warm up, he did over 1900 watts in a sprint. That's a peak of 1933 and an average of over 1500 watts for 16 seconds. Mind you, the average for his 16-second sprint, that peak value would make you a very competitive sprinter at, say, the American domestic scene, which is crazy. After his sprint, he does a 3-minute effort at 630 watts, which is crazy, but he's nowhere near done in this ride. He spins around for a bit at a light 208 watts. Then he does a 12-minute effort at 520 watts. He cools down for a bit, and then he does some over-unders, 2 10-minute sets of over-unders, averaging 420 watts, and with a normalized of around 450 for both of them. Then he cools down a little bit and goes into another 3-minute effort, this time doing 610 watts, showing some pretty strong durability considering the crazy efforts that he just did. He cools down a little bit, and then he does a final sprint. This is after 4 hours of hard riding. He still manages to put out over 1800 watts and over 1400 watts for the 16-second sprint, which is crazy. He goes from around 40k an hour to 65 during the course of his 16-second sprint. Walscheid recently signed a contract with Lidl Trek for next year. So he received their bike, and naturally, the first thing you do when you get a bike is do 3 by 30 seconds all out. And for the first effort, he did 1,250 watts average for 30 seconds, with a peak wattage of almost 1,700 watts. Then he recovered a bit, and he did 12:15 for 30 seconds, 32 seconds even. And then he did 12:50 for 30 seconds, which is crazy that he did 3 30-second efforts all out, and his power barely dropped, if at all. It was basically flat, which is crazy.